Have you ever wondered why, even after the age of 60, we sometimes feel burdened, drained, or even hopeless, as if the weight of the world is on our shoulders? What if this feeling of being overwhelmed is a silent sign that something needs attention? Perhaps a small change or a simple gesture could make all the difference in your life or the life of someone you love. If you are part of this group of people who are over 60 or are accompanying someone in this phase, know that this moment can be lighter than it seems. We are not here to criticize, but to care, understand, and offer hope. After all, aging does not have to be synonymous with continuous emotional or physical wear and tear. Today, I am going to share a promise with you, to understand how subtle signs can reveal what is often hidden within us. Small clues that can indicate what needs attention before they become bigger problems. Best of all, with practical tips based on real experiences, so you can feel more in control of your journey. Before we begin, leave a comment below telling us which city or country you are watching from. It's wonderful to see how this network of care connects in so many corners of the world, forming a community of support and hope. And believe me, the first sign may be very close to you, even in the steps you take without realizing it. Let's start with something simple, but that may be saying a lot about your future, without making a sound. The first sign we can observe is the ease with which you lose your balance when walking or doing simple tasks, such as picking up an object or climbing stairs. This is one of the first clues that something may not be right. For healthcare professionals, this change in stability is an important sign, as it may indicate that your strength or coordination is beginning to decline. Best of all, this change usually appears before more serious problems, and many people don't even realize that they are neglecting to take care of themselves. Consider Maria, who is 75 years old. She likes to walk in the park every day. Recently, she noticed that she sometimes slipped a little when walking, but thought it was just her imagination. She continues to exercise, eat well, and feels fine. However, 78-year-old Joanna has also begun to notice that she feels more unsteady when climbing stairs. She avoids walking on uneven ground and ignores these signs, thinking it is just a sign of aging. Over time, Joanna began to experience pain when walking, fell once, and lost some of her independence. If these signs are ignored, difficulties in moving around easily, an increased risk of falls, and a feeling of insecurity when performing everyday tasks may arise. This can lead to a loss of autonomy, leaving the person dependent on help. To avoid this, a simple tip is to do small balance exercises at home. Walking slowly, holding onto a wall for balance, or doing light stretching can help a lot. These movements strengthen the legs and improve stability, maintaining your freedom for longer. And if your body is already sending you these signals, it is important to pay attention. Because sometimes what seems small can be the first step toward maintaining your independence. And in the next step, we will find out what your posture can reveal about your health and vitality. Manual dexterity is an important sign of health in older adults. Observing the ease or difficulty of performing simple tasks, such as opening a jar, putting on shoes, or folding clothes, can reveal a lot about the strength and coordination of the fingers and hands. These small everyday gestures are like an invisible mirror of how the body is functioning. When dexterity declines, it is as if a cog is sticking, making tasks that were once natural difficult. This change often goes unnoticed, but attentive healthcare professionals notice this subtle loss of skill even before any official tests are performed. Consider Anna, 75, who patiently manages to open a medicine bottle, although she needs a little more strength than before. She feels proud of maintaining her independence. On the other hand, we have Vera, also 75, who struggles to hold a cup of tea and, with frustration, realizes that small gestures are becoming more difficult. This difference may seem small, but if ignored, decreased manual dexterity can lead to greater difficulties in performing daily tasks, increasing the risk of falls or needing help with simple things. Doing light exercises, such as squeezing a rubber ball or holding small objects firmly, can strengthen the hands and maintain this ability for longer. With daily practice, it is possible to regain strength and coordination, ensuring greater independence. And even if your hands are still steady, it's worth asking, is your coordination as good as it seems? If you find this tip useful, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel right now. Here, each piece of content is designed to help you live with greater safety, autonomy, and well-being. And even when taking care of your hands, there is something else that often goes unnoticed but is essential to your health and vitality. We'll talk about that in the next step. Paying attention to small emotional reactions in everyday life is essential to maintaining health in old age. One sign that is often ignored is an exaggerated reaction to everyday stress. When we face difficulties or setbacks, our emotional response should be proportional. But as we age, some people begin to feel more irritated, frustrated, or overwhelmed by simple situations, such as a delay, a difficult conversation, or a task that was once easy. These reactions may seem normal, but they may actually indicate that the body is more vulnerable, that the emotional regulation system is weakening, or that there is a silent overload building up. Let's meet João, 75, who often becomes visibly irritated when he misses a bus or forgets an appointment. He reports feeling more distressed, even experiencing episodes of anxiety for no apparent reason. On the other hand, we have Maria, 78, who, upon realizing that she gets upset easily, seeks relaxation practices, conscious breathing, and tries to understand her limits. Maria understands that small changes in mood are signs that her body and mind need attention. João, on the other hand, ignores these signs, accumulating frustrations, which increases his feelings of helplessness and isolation. When we ignore these reactions, they can evolve into greater difficulties in managing stress, leading to greater emotional vulnerability and even physical problems, such as hypertension or chronic anxiety. Therefore, it is important to learn to recognize these signs and seek simple strategies, such as practicing breathing techniques or taking time for enjoyable activities, which help maintain calm and autonomy. Taking care of these small reactions is a vital step in preserving well-being and quality of life in old age. And sometimes, what seems like an emotional detail reveals an opportunity to strengthen our health and inner balance. The absence of inner silence is a silent sign that often goes unnoticed, but has a profound impact on health and longevity. When the body cannot find inner peace, it is like a radio that is constantly tuned to the wrong station, unable to turn off the mind. This lack of inner calm generates accumulated tension that, over time, wears down the body. Problems such as anxiety, irritability, difficulty concentrating, and constant fatigue may seem normal, but they are actually signs that the body is carrying an invisible weight. Like a battery that does not recharge, vital energy is depleted, impairing essential functions of the body and mind. Many people believe that this state of constant alertness is inevitable in old age, but the truth is that it can be reversed. When we learn to quiet the mind, we give the body a chance to recover and strengthen itself. Simple practices such as meditation, conscious breathing, or moments of daily silence can make a big difference. A minute of deep breathing before bed, for example, helps calm the mind and restore internal balance. Small gestures of self-care can transform this silent burden into a sense of lasting peace and well-being. And when the body finds this silence, it speaks louder, showing signs of vitality and energy. But what about when this inner peace seems to be disappearing? Perhaps the next sign that deserves attention is more connected to the emotions that we often cannot express. If you want practical tips to regain that tranquility and strengthen your health, we have a free ebook with simple and effective guidelines. The link is in the pinned comments. Take the opportunity to take care of yourself with lightness and attention. Your appetite in old age can reveal a lot about your health and well-being. When hunger disappears for no apparent reason, your body is sending you a signal that something needs attention. Changes in eating habits, such as losing interest in meals or feeling satisfied after small portions, can indicate nutritional deficiencies, a slower metabolism, muscle weakness, or even emotional issues. These changes are not just part of aging, they are messages from your body that need attention. Consider Maria, who has always enjoyed a good meal, but in recent months has begun to lose her appetite. She feels weak, discouraged, and her mood has declined. On the other hand, John, who maintains a balanced diet with a variety of colors and flavors, feels energized, in a good mood, and strong enough to carry out his daily activities. The difference is clear. Proper nutrition maintains vitality, while a lack of interest in food can lead to muscle loss, low immunity, increased risk of falls, difficulty concentrating, and even worsening symptoms of depression. When the body does not receive the nutrients it needs, it begins to shut down essential functions, accelerating functional aging. To take better care of your appetite, a simple tip is to establish regular meal times, creating a routine that stimulates hunger. Preparing colorful and varied dishes with fruits, root vegetables, grains, and natural foods also helps make meals more appealing. In addition, staying well hydrated makes all the difference. Eating well is an act of self-love, a way of caring for yourself with affection and attention. And even if your diet is balanced, have you ever stopped to think about how you deal with your daily emotions? After all, there is something more invisible than appetite, the emotions we carry with us that silently influence our health. The absence of real human connections can be a silent wound that settles in the soul. When a friend's smile or a family member's hug disappears from your routine, the feeling of isolation deepens. This feeling of being alone, even when surrounded by people, is a delicate sign that is often overlooked. Emotional loneliness is not just a matter of companionship, but a factor that profoundly affects physical and mental health. The body also feels when affection is scarce, when days become too quiet and empty. The absence of human contact can trigger a constant stress response, impair memory, decrease the desire to maintain a routine, and weaken the immune system. Over time, this disconnection can lead to sadness, loss of purpose, and a feeling that life has lost its sparkle. It is important to remember that this experience happens to many people, but it can be reversed with small gestures of care and attention. Imagine Maria, who usually exercises in the park, chatting with some friends. She feels alive, connected. João, on the other hand, who has spent weeks without talking to anyone, feels his energy waning and his memory becoming more confused. The difference is clear. Those who maintain contact, even if brief, find the strength to move forward. Those who isolate themselves run the risk of getting lost in sad thoughts, of feeling increasingly disconnected from themselves. That's why small actions can make all the difference. Send a message to a dear friend, join online groups, or simply establish a routine of calling someone once a week. These attitudes promote a sense of belonging, even from a distance. A simple gesture of connection can brighten someone's day and renew hope. And when the silence outside mixes with the absence of affection within us, even the body begins to lose its natural rhythm. But the next step leads us to reflect on how the body also gives signals, such as breathing, balance, and coordination, which deserve our attention. Silent signs of instability when walking may seem minor, but they are often the first warnings that the body is losing strength or balance. A simple expression for this is, when you start to slip or stagger more than before. These signs, although subtle, deserve attention, as they indicate changes that are taking place in muscle strength, the nervous system, or posture. Ignoring these minor falls or insecurities when walking can lead to serious accidents, such as fractures, hospitalizations, and loss of independence. A stumble here, a hesitation there, and your body is warning you that something needs to be taken care of. Let's hear the story of Mrs. Clara, who, upon noticing that she was slipping when climbing stairs or had difficulty walking on uneven surfaces, sought help. She started doing simple balance exercises, such as walking in a straight line while holding onto a chair, for just 5 minutes a day. These small exercises strengthened her legs and improved her confidence. On the other hand, her neighbor, Mr. Jose, ignored these signs, thinking they were just a part of aging. Over time, he fell out of the shower, hurting himself and becoming more afraid to leave the house. This difference shows how paying attention to signs of instability can preserve the freedom to live safely. Preventing loss of balance is more accessible than it seems. Simple exercises and the use of light supports, such as a chair, can make all the difference. Dedicating a few minutes each day can prevent serious falls and maintain independence for longer. And if the body has already shown signs of frailty, what else is the heart silently holding back, waiting to be discovered? The next message will be even more subtle, but just as important, a warning that comes from within, that only we can feel. The silent weight we still carry is like an invisible shadow that insists on hovering over the heart. It is the memory of unspoken words, buried hurts, abandoned dreams. This emotional baggage often accumulates silently, permeating the soul and reflecting on the body in subtle but profound ways. The tension manifests itself in our posture, in our shortness of breath, in the feeling of tiredness that seems to never go away. It is not about guilt, but about recognizing that by holding on to what has not been released, we allow the past to dictate our present vitality. The body holds on to everything the heart cannot let go, aging faster and becoming sick inside. Imagine two people, one who, over the years, has accumulated resentment and hurt, living with a constant feeling of heaviness, their energy drained by repetitive thoughts and unspoken silences. And another who has decided to look inward, write letters, talk to someone, or simply be silent to listen to their own soul. The first becomes more tense, irritable, their days filled with invisible fatigue. The second finds peace, the lightness of those who allow themselves to feel, release, and thus renew their very essence. Neglecting this unresolved pain carries serious risks: premature emotional aging, loss of vitality, psychosomatic illnesses, emotional isolation. A soul burdened with hurt blocks full breathing and prevents the body from living freely. To lighten this burden, we can simply write down what we feel, without judgment, or practice silent forgiveness, a gesture of self-love. Moments of prayer, inner silence, or a conversation with someone you trust also help to release what weighs you down. After all, forgiveness does not erase the past, but it prevents it from continuing to hurt. And when we learn to let go of this weight, we realize that our hearts finally find space to breathe with lightness. But have you allowed yourself to reflect on how much of your life you still hold back, from yourself and from the world? Today you had the opportunity to look inside yourself, with your eyes and with your heart. The signs we discussed throughout this video are not diagnoses, but invitations to pay attention, take preventive measures, and care for yourself. Every detail you observe, from your body to your inner silence, can reveal paths to a longer, fuller, and higher quality life. It is a chance to act before a crisis becomes inevitable, to strengthen your strengths, to listen to your emotions, and to take care of your relationships. You don't have to make radical changes overnight. Start with small actions today. Walk mindfully, eat better, talk to someone you love, quiet your mind for a few minutes. These simple actions are accessible and can transform your routine, your health, and your happiness. I deeply appreciate your presence here, for taking the time to reflect on your life. This choice to take care of yourself and value your well-being demonstrates strength, courage, and self-love, qualities that are essential for aging with dignity and hope. If this content touched your heart in any way, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. That way, you'll receive content that helps you remember to take care of yourself, learn more about your journey, and live more mindfully. Remember, it is not time that ages the body, but silence in the face of the signs it sends us. Listen to what your life is trying to tell you and respond with care. Your story is still being written, and there is time to make it a story of health, hope, and love.